Hello! Today we are making my style of curry chicken, a green curry chicken, and we're at Julie's place again, thanks Julie. And I'm using, today I would normally use a Thermomix or at my house or a NutriBullet to combine all my ingredients. Now I'm going to do this very fast because that's what I do at home when I make this. If you can marinate your chicken, if you've got time to marinate your chicken in the mix that we're going to do, that's great. But I normally make this when I get home from work and I make it for my girls. So right now I am chopping up some coriander. I am not good at growing coriander. I have no idea why. I don't know whether it's the Queensland conditions, but I would have thought that here in Queensland, Southeast Queensland would have been perfect for it, but my coriander always goes to seed. So if anyone has any suggestions for growing coriander, because a few of my friends have said the same thing. Anyway, I've just bought one of these punnets from Coles, and I'm using the second punnet, so I just put in a whole punnet because we love coriander. And yeah, homegrown spring onions, I think. Some people call them shallots, but I call these, yeah, and I've just cut off the tips out of my garden. The tips are, or the stems are all I need, and whenever I cut the stems off, more grow back. And they do grow well, and they grow year round. So it is, we're coming to the end of autumn and going into spring. I also normally use homegrown ginger and turmeric, but mine isn't ready to harvest yet. I'm going to wait till the end of spring before I do a harvest. I do have some, so far we've got coriander, spring onion, and kaffir lime leaf. I discovered that the first time I had a Thai green curry was at a restaurant, and I was so impressed with it. I don't put chili in this one because my family, my husband Kevin, doesn't do well with chili. I've also got homegrown bay leaf. So at my place I have a kaffir lime tree and I have a bay leaf tree, and I normally have a curry leaf tree, but the last lot of floods killed my curry tree. So we're changing the recipe just a little bit, not using as many fresh ingredients because of circumstances of them not being available just yet. But Julie also has the same varieties growing in her garden. So come spring, we'll be good to go. So I'm just cutting out, I'm just cutting out the stems from everything, and then I have, I don't know, a huge, oh there's more kaffir lime, but I have, look at these mint leaves, the size of them. They are growing wild at my place. They were growing in a pot near the compost bin, but they fell out and they're just growing wild on the lawn now, and they're huge and they're beautiful and they smell so good. So lots of mint. My basil, I would normally put some basil, whatever you call it, just a little bit in there, but it wasn't looking too healthy this morning, and I don't want to pay for it because I know in springtime I'm going to have lots and lots of it. So I'll pay for the coriander because I can't grow that. But I think this is why it's called a green curry, and over the years I've just adapted my own, just kind of done my own thing. So I don't know if this is authentic or not. This is just my way, and this is what my children have grown up with. If I'm putting the curry leaf in, I will throw it on the skillet and fry it off in a dry skillet first. Now I use a lot of garlic, so I've got some pre-peeled garlic here, and I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 cloves. I will partially chop that to go in. Now, like I was saying in the beginning, I use a Thermomix or a NutriBullet to blend all this stuff. Usually the Thermomix because I can get more into it. but because I've come to Julie's and I didn't want to drag out her food processor and everything, I thought I'd have a crack using this Tupperware Speedy Chef, I think it's called. I also have some homemade chicken bone broth, and that is cooked. It's just I took it out of the freezer this morning, so yeah, and my family know, and I will be putting up a recipe for my beef bone broth, which is what I used to use to make my meat pies, and chicken bone broth. Yeah, and the difference between a stock and a bone broth is how long you cook it, but making bone broth means that you're going to get the collagen and all that good stuff out of the bones. It's really good for your skin. We have a bit of Vegeta, the vegetarian one, which I use in all my recipes. This is just the best stuff. So the brand is Vegeta. I'm going to put 3 heaping teaspoons in there. I'm also going to throw in, I found a bit of Laksa paste. Instead of using straight fish oil, I prefer to use a bit of Laksa, because the fish oil and stuff that you can use, it's super funky, and I never get the measurements right, but it's already been measured out properly in the Laksa paste. So I'd use about 1/4 of a jar of Laksa paste, because it's got the ginger and the turmeric and all that stuff in it as well. And then I'm just going to use a bit of curry powder, and I love the Keen's, and honestly I've never ever measured for this recipe, so just a bit of curry powder, and because I don't have my fresh ginger, I'm using a bit of this ginger. The curry powder has the turmeric in it. So we've got the stock or the bone broth in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the coconut cream. If I had this in the Thermomix, I would be blending and cooking it at the same time. But I'm actually going to bake this in the oven today. Julie and I have gotten the chicken thigh fillets. I prefer chicken thigh to chicken breast. Sometimes I'll do a mix of both, but I prefer the chicken thigh fillets. We've just diced them up. So I can take one lot home and she can keep one lot here. So I'm going to put this through. I'm going to give it a quick blend, and then I'm going to add the rest of it to it. And that's essentially it. And I've got another lot of coriander, which I will use for decoration. Yeah. Blend the heck out of it. This is great for my 50-year-old body, getting it nice and thick by blending. I think you notice that I'm a bit of a Tupperware fan. Tupperware items lying around. Okey-doke, that's actually looking pretty good. I'm going to put the rest of the coconut cream in it, and then we'll show you then as soon as that's done. We'll put it into individual baking dishes, we'll bake it, and I will show you what it looks like when we bake it. Cheers, I'll see you in a minute. Thank you.